Ramblin Bob here again with a new product from Pecron. Now, we looked at this at the last video, and yes, I got one. So we're going to open this up here. This is a I believe it's a 17 cable or adapter kit, so you can have pretty much any adaptation that you want for a power station, for a solar panel, or something like that. And that way you can modify stuff. Boy, that's good plastic there. Or I'm getting weak and old. That's probably the possibility. Alright, so here's the Pecron. So this is the universal cable kit. It is very heavy, so that's a good sign right away. When cables are heavy, that means that there's either a lot of copper in there or a lot of quality. So I'll take either one, hopefully the copper. I like that one. So that is it, the Pecron universal cable kit. There's 17 connections in this bad boy. All right, we're going to open it up here. We just got it in the mail maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago here. And there it is. It comes in a really big case. Okay, that's a nice big case. So that case is obviously a lot bigger than the original one that came with like the E2000 and the E1500 and stuff like that. This is a zipper. It's probably water shed. It's not waterproof, as you can see. There's a little tiny cracks in there. So if you ever have to go somewhere and it's raining, you throw this in a like a plastic bag or garbage bag, or even like a grocery bag, and that way you could tie it shut, and then you got waterproof for the most part. Okay, so look at this, guys. Holy crap, so there's a ton of stuff in there. Stuff's falling out. Look at that. Holy cow, is that a lot of stuff, guys? Look at that. So they're double-sided. Holy cow. I didn't think it was going to be that cool, but look at all the adapters, guys. Look at that. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so this is... Oh, see it? Look at it. It's got a nice little thing here. Specifications for all the adapters that are in this kit. Now, I'm going to try to look at them, and I'm going to try to guess, and the ones I can't guess, I'll put aside, and I'll try to figure it out from this card, because there's possibly... Look, there's a monitor hub. There's another hub. Well, I don't even know what those do. Okay, so well, let's take a look at them, eh? Let's look at one. Let's see the first one here. So this is, looks like XT62 ring. So the ring terminals, this would be used like on a battery. So you can put them on the ring terminals of a battery or something like that, and then transfer the power either in or out, depending which way you're going. Very, very cool. That's heavy duty too, guys. These are decent wires. You can see that the positive is a little bit fatter than a negative. I'd like to see them the same size, but I don't think that'll affect it. That's probably about 10 or 12 gauge in there. I don't know. It'll be on this on the specifications over here, hopefully, and we'll go through that. Yeah, it says it's got the length, but not the width. So that's always a tough thing, you know, guys. When you order cables, you never know what's inside the cable. All right, let's see here. This is, and then here's a code. This is nice that it has U20 number 10, so you can go right to this and go to number 10. See this? Now this is a, I don't want to cheat using this thing. I want to see if I can figure all these out. So this is XT60, and this is the Anderson power pole. Now some people really like these. I'm not a fan of them, but some people really enjoy those. But it's nice to have, because like I said, if you need this, man, this kit is pretty neat, because it's, you know, everything is in one spot. Like, there's no goofing around, you know what I mean? All right, so that's two. And then look at this bad boy here. So this is an XT60 to... Now this looks like a Bluetti ring, so that's probably about an 8mm, and then the smaller one, nope, huh? So if that's 8, oh, I see. Okay, so you have an 8mm with a smaller diameter pin inside there, and then you have a larger one. So I bet you they're both 8mm, but different pin size. Certain power stations and certain accessories and things like that need a different pin size, because if the pin's too small, it can't make the connection inside, and then you can't charge or draw energy from what you are trying to intend to draw energy from. And now you have the other one here. This looks like the other side. So this is XT60. A lot of XT60s. I like that. And then this is, it looks like the similar ring, maybe a 9. And then, see, that's a smaller version of the 9. And I have a feeling that these are modded together. There you go. So if you were going to XT60 to maybe XT60, that would, you know, come in handy if you had two ports that were only XT60 and you just didn't have a cable. You know, I mean, you really never know what you need until you need it. You know what I mean? This solar power stuff is frustrating sometimes. And then here's a smaller ring. So that looks like maybe a 5521 or a 5525. and then there's another one inside there. So not only did they think of having the nice cables, you see that they don't bend very easy. You know, they kind of hold their shape a little bit. But they did have multiple adapters in there. Yep, see that's a smaller pin. See that? So one is a little bit bigger. So this is probably a 25 and that's probably a 21. We'll check it in the paperwork officially when after I get these all out of here now. Let's go this way here. This is an XT60 to MC4. This is very useful for what I need it for. So very, very good. Very good. MC4 is waterproof, but don't forget, guys, this side is not waterproof, so be careful out there, okay? You don't want to wreck your cables and stuff. Let me move this over here. We got to make more room. Guys, there's tons of stuff in this little box. I mean, look at this. Look at that. That's crazy. All right, let's pull another one off from this side here. So this is the XT60 to another ring. And then, of course, you have a 90-degree port and then another one on that side, so you can adapt. Boy, you can adapt to just about anything you need. I have a feeling that Pecron thought of every one of their systems and plus some, because this seems like more than what they have on their systems. Now, this is XT60 right to barrel. I'm sorry, 5-pin aviation port. Guys, this one is actually one that I like. If you can hold on 1 second, I just want to show you something. So, if you guys remember that cable that I got from Pecron, I bought 2 of them. Well, actually, we got one sent to us, and I liked it so much, I bought another one that same night. I mean, I literally ordered it the same night. So that's the power dumping cable. So it's MJ32, and it goes to XT60. Now, the problem is I wanted to convert it all the way down to 5-pin, right? So I did XT60 to MC4 all the way down to 5-pin. But now, look what I can do, guys. Done. XT60, 5-pin. I don't have to do all this extra goofing around here. That's wonderful for power dumping, because now I can get this. And here's a big thing, guys. Whenever you have connections, the more connections you have, the more problems that you will have in your system. That's a guarantee, because basically you're putting up little roadblocks for the energy. So it has to like jump over the pins or whatever it has to do. This is, let's see this one. Now this is XT62, the opposite. Oh, I got an alarm clock going off here. Hold on, I think it's time. Let me, give me 1 second. I got to stop the alarm clock here. Sorry about that, guys. So the Spidey watch, okay, this was given to me as a gift a long time ago, and for some reason, the alarm's going off. Look at that. It's Spidey time. Is that crazy? All right, so that was obviously not supposed to happen, but I just wanted to show you that that's where the alarm was coming from, okay? I've never heard that before, so that's the first time. It was given to me a gift a long time ago, and maybe the battery's dying or something. I don't know. Okay, back to what we were doing. This is XT62, the 5-pin aviation. However, it's the other side. So that way, if you want to go this to this, let me see. You got to line these up perfect here, guys. Look at that. Boom. And now you got XT60 to XT60. That's a much cleaner run, right? It would have been nice if they would have had that locking ring on there, because it does have the terminal, or whatever they're called, the threads for locking. But that really shortens it up and cleans it up a lot. So this is, man, this is really a cool kit. I'm very impressed by this so far. Okay, and it just keeps coming. Guys, we're not even halfway down one side. I took one out of that side. Remember, this is full still. Holy crapzilla. Okay, so this one is an XT60 to an XT60. So it's basically a male to female, so you can extend a run or go straight from XT60 male right to female or something like that. But all right, we gotta make more room here, guys. I got my tools everywhere. Matter of fact, let's do this. We got to line these bad boys up. I tell you what. Now this kit is $120, and people would say, "Oh my gosh, Ramblin Bob, that's expensive." Well, it is, but here's the thing: if you needed one of these cables, any one, even this one, we don't even know what it is yet. These run anywhere between $10 to $30 anywhere, right? Just to get a small, simple cable, and just imagine having all of these in one kit. You fold up, you throw it in a Ziploc bag. Now it's waterproof. Garbage bag, tie it shut, waterproof, and then you throw it in your camping gear and you're done. I mean, you're literally done. You have everything. You've got everything under the sun, including that. I'll get to that side. This is XT60 to XT60. Both are females. So that way, if you want to just extend or port from one system to another, where this could come in handy possibly is, say one has a power dumping out, right? and then the other one has a power dumping input, like a solar input. So you could go from one system out like actually the E3600 LFP has this port on it. I believe it's this port. Let me double check. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta walk over here. I'm gonna walk right over here, and nope. Okay, so that's the other one. So the E3600 actually has this one, which is the male. So you basically, well, you use this one for that idea then. So you plug this in the DC output, the 30 amp, and then you could charge another power station with this one. Now where that would come in handy would probably be like the E1000, and you could pull up to, was it 30 amps out of there at 12 volts directly out this cable into the E1000, or you can use that power dumping cable. I mean, to have options like this is where the strength becomes on your side, because you don't have to mod stuff, you don't have to cut stuff and solder it back together. But this is the same as that, except there, instead of male female, this is female female. So you might find a situation where you might need that. You never know. Guys, I've done this long enough to know that you have no idea what you need until it's too late. This is an extender from XT60 to XT60. Yeah, a lot of XT60 stuff, guys. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, I take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 12 cables that are all XT60 or XT60 to something else. That's a lot of conversion. I mean, that's everything under the sun, right? I can't think of anything that's missing, other than like maybe like old SEA. But you know, no offense, who cares about that? It's so old. Like Harbor Freight still uses it, which is, that's crazy. I would 100% go to either Anderson or XT60 or MC4s for their panels for sure. But that is an extender, so that way if you want to also power dump and get a longer run, get that energy out of that system. Right, so we're going to put that there. Now 1/2 of this is done. 1/2 plus 1 or 2 cables. So now we got to move to this side, and we have to actually come back this way. So remove this because this isn't part of the kit here, guys. This is my Franken cable that I have to make, or I had to make to, you know, get the power dumping to go to the E2000 LFP. And now look at this. I'm done. 1 cable, I'm done. I don't need all the Franken cable, right? More connections, more chance of a fire. So you have this here. Now this is XT60 to alligator clampers, right? And this will go on a car battery, and then you can charge that way, or vice versa. If you want to dump into a car battery, obviously you want to have a controller on there. But very nice addition. I'll put that here. All right, so these are the weird things. I don't even know what these are, guys. I think they're adapters, but I'm not sure. Almost like hubs. Let's see. So I don't think there's anything in these three. These things are just kind of common looking. So it looks like XT60 to XT60. So then maybe you could take, let's say this cable, and you're coming from a different power station. Well, it's a good tight fit. Okay, and then you want to go to this power station that has this port. See, it's 2 different ports. Just you know, hypothetically. And then you put this like this, and boom. So that creates that jumper for you, if you will, or that adapter where you can put cables that you really don't have and modify and make your own cables, but more safe. That way you don't have to cut stuff. Very cool. They got little Pecron logos on them. Very cool. I like the yellow too, guys. You know why? If you drop this outside with that black color, it's gone, right? Especially at night. But the yellow you could see. So that's a positive thing for sure. How many guys out there have lost stuff in the middle of the night and you can't find it till morning? And then if it rains, your piece or your part is wrecked. All right, now this is the one I'm very curious about. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to take the peel off. Mrs. Ramblin Bob will really dislike me for this, but now when she watches that video, she's going to really, because that's her favorite thing to do, is take these little I don't know, that's something. Everyone's got their own, right? Okay, so what this does is some kind of a junction box, and I have no idea. It says monitor hub, input 11 to 150 volts, 30 amp max, continuous 25 amps, output 11 to 150, 30 amp max. So basically, it is just a hub just like those, except it's monitored. So it probably tells you how many amps is flowing through. Hopefully it'll tell you more than that, but we'll have to wait and read the instructions to see that one. I'm very curious about that one. Okay, so we're still going, guys. Look at all this. Look at that. It looks like a salad bar. All right, so The next one we got here is, now these look like the big boys. These are XT90s. Look at these big bad boys. So this is XT60. And that is, I think that's XT90. It sure looks like it. That is a big bad boy. It almost looks like a XT120, but I don't know if it's that big. Once again, I got to cheat on this one, guys. Is that XT? Because I'm not too familiar. I only have one cable with XT90 on it, and it's just, that's huge. Look at the size difference of that. Holy crapzilla. Let's see here. We got XT60s. Right. Everything says XT60. But that's way too big to be. So XT60, XT60, 60, 60. Oh, I see there's 60 on one side. So the 90 is probably very, there you go. So XT90H. So yeah, that was an XT90. That is a very large port, guys. Look at that. Holy crapzilla. I bet you know what that's probably for? I bet you that's for the F3000 LFP. So that one has the XT90 outputs for the batteries and such. So let's put this here. Put that there. This is fantastic. Guys, I couldn't ask for a better kit. I really couldn't. And I have, if you want to talk about cables, I have cables. I mean, I don't even know where they all are. This looks like the other version of that. So then that way you can have the innie and the outie. See, they go together like that. So say you have two systems and you want to, modify this together. Oh, we lost the cable on that one. I can put it back together here to keep them all nice and neat until I need them, and then there'll be a mess, right? I must have, at the workshop here, I think I have, if I were to guess, I would say 1,000 cables. I mean, it's, 35 power stations, a lot of modding and stuff. You got 1,000 cables hanging all over the place. It's a lot. Here's your cigarette adapter to the XT60. Very useful adapter, very useful. And then you have the other side of that, which is the port for the cigarette adapter. So this would go into here just to show you how it works, just in case you're not familiar to it. The younger kids don't remember cigarette adapters. Us older kids, we wouldn't ride in the car unless Pops would have a cigarette or something back in the old days. But yeah, that's the other side of that. Now I think that's it. This seems to be empty. This is a good hard rigid case, and then that's your fold out thingies. So you can see they're double-sided. Look at that. Boy, that is, guys, and you know what's nice? They didn't just throw them in the box, which technically would have been okay with me too, but you can literally line them up, and you have little tags on each. That's a nice touch, so you can find exactly what you need. So let's say, let's try it here. Let's get number 9, just randomly. So we need an XT60 female to DC 8020. So that basically is a Blue Eddy cable. Okay, that's a size of a Blue Eddy input on their solar. So let's look for number 9. So U20 is the model, and then here's number 9. Look at that. See how easy that was? So if you're new at this, this will not only be quicker, but it would teach you what these are and how to use them. So that's very, very helpful. But that is the entire kit here, guys. Let me put it like this here. We're going to count the cables and see what we got. Obviously, the boxes we're going to put over here, and then we'll put the cheat sheet on top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to read all these real quick, just so you can, like say, Ramblin Bob, I need a certain one. Well, let's read them out in its entirety and see exactly what we have going on there. All right, we're going to move this, and I definitely want to try this one. I definitely want to try that, see what that's doing. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cables. Awesome. And then 4 adapters. But remember, that's 17 cables, but some of these can almost be like another cable, right? Because that's a secondary port on here. So let's count those just to see. So we have 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, so 21, because this has one too. So that's 21 possibilities of hooking stuff up in one kit. That's monstrously cool. All right, so let's see here. Oh, here's your display settings. Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, you know what? If they sell this separate, I'll be buying more of these. This basically is the same. If you could hold on one second, I got to get one more thing. I didn't know what this is, but I figured out by seeing the picture. So hold on one second. I got to find one thing here, guys. Just talk amongst yourself. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so in my solar MC4 creating kit. This is a kit that I designed for myself of everything I need. Inside here, I have one of these, and this is a DC meter. Now, the problem with these is, very simply, it can only go up to so many amps, right? And then these you have to put on yourself. So this is like for the RC world. But check this out. I just noticed that this information looks the same or very similar to what's on here. So on here, I look at the voltage for open circuit, the working voltage after its circuit is connected to something like a battery or a charging power station or whatever. You get the amps, and then you get the time, and then you get peak. So you get a lot of information on these. Let's see what you get on this. This is the input voltage. So right away, there's your VOC. Then you have your operating current. So that's your amps. How many amps is going into the system. Then you have the operating power. That's how many watts it is. So it's voltage times amps equal watts, okay? And then you have your current direction. Now that's a nice thing, because I'll tell you what, if you hook up two things together, how do you know which way the power is going and if it's going the right way, right? This will have little arrows like that. It probably goes like this maybe. I'm guessing it, or this way, when the power is going vice versa. If this does exactly what I think it does, I will be buying this if it comes separate. This is a Z30 monitor hub. This is exactly what I need for one of my runs, because I used to have, and I still have, these things on my run, but I don't like these. So if I can get it to go to this, much better, much cleaner, and stronger pins on there. I do like MC4 though. Don't get me confused with that. I love MC4s, but boy, is that a clean run. That's just small and stays out of the way, and it's just perfect. Okay, and then you have your operating time, okay, and that's how long it's been either pulling or pushing energy through this hub. It also has this, the energy consumption. Now this is a huge thing. This tells you how many kilowatt hours that you're either putting this way or that way. So that is a very good thing. That's what this does. Now hopefully, I don't think so, but hopefully there's a battery inside here that saves it, because if you lose your connection, guess what happens, guys? You reset all these numbers. So this does not have a battery inside. I wish it did. Kind of like these. You notice I just unplugged this from the wall, but notice it's still on. See, there's a lithium-ion battery in there, and then you can still see all of those numbers in there. Notice it was 8 hours and 52 minutes I ran this, or, yeah, I think it's 8 hours, 52 minutes. And then you can go through the functions. See this? That is a monster cool thing. And then you can just reset it by poking. Let's see if I have it here. One of these things, guys, is, now this review isn't for this. I'm just kind of showing you what that potentially could have. And then you poke it like that, and you'll see that it'll reset, and then everything is back to normal, but it saves it. And that's the thing, because once you lose your power to your system or your solar panels or whatever, man, you're kind of screwed, right? It's gone, holy crapzilla. So on the other side now, we have, let's see if it's the same here. So you have, now, okay, these two things look the same. They look like the same picture, except there's other things over here. It says alarm code 10 voltage over 10 VA over voltage. Okay, so that way if it's too high, it'll throw a code at you. And then here's the overcurrent. So if you're putting too much amps through it, it'll throw a code too. So very neat little box. I like this a lot, like lot. So I'm going to try that out and see if that works any for what I need it for. All right, we're going to read these really quick, and then I'm going to go play with these guys. This is look at this. It looks like a salad bar, doesn't it? Holy crapzilla. Okay, so number one is an XT60 to MC4 adapter cable. Number two is an XT60 female to an XT60 female. Number three is XT60 female to XT60 male. Number four is XT60 female to GX16 5 female adapter. That is what's known as a 5-pin aviation port. That's on the E2000 LFP, and it's also on the batteries, on the EP3000 and the EB3000. So those come in handy. I believe you need the, let me see, you need the male. I think you need the male version of that for the batteries. But then you could use the other one to actually maybe possibly draw energy out of there, because those batteries are open. I think. Well, on that side. I know they're open on the other side, on the actual cascading cable parts, but the other side I think is controlled by the MPPT controller. So we'll have to test and see. Okay, so now we have the same cord, XT60 female to GX16 5-pin male adapter, which is the 5-pin aviation port. It's different companies call it different things. Then you have number 6 is XT60 to DC 5525 female and DC 5521. So I was right on that one just by guessing. It's a DC 5525 and a DC 5521. If you're not familiar what that means, the first two numbers are the millimeters of the outside ring, and the second one is the millimeters of the inside ring. Let's see, let's go to the next one. Number 7 is XT60 female to DC 5525 and male, sorry, and DC 5521 male. That's hard to read. That's pretty tiny, guys. So basically you have the same cable, but the male and female versions of those pins in case you need it. And remember, there's 2 ports on there. So, you know, that's like doubling up on a cable. You know, that would cost you, let's say, $10 a piece. Look at the money laying here, right? And that was what, 21? That's $210 for the cables, plus you get the adapters, and then you have the box and the simplicity of having this all in one. You know, one thing that would have been nice in here, and you could throw it in here in your kit, is if you had one standard, let me show you, give me a second here, guys. I think something like this would have put the cherry on top of the apple pie there, is just a standard charging cable. If you had this in this kit, I think that would be everything you need, because if you had access to AC wherever you were, this little cable, you can pull all your energy in and out that way. But this is more of a DC route, and this is an AC side. So I think I'm going to keep this cable. It's a very heavy-duty cable. I'm going to keep this with this kit, and now this is literally everything I would ever need for Pecron, and then some, I think. Where do we leave off? Number 8. Okay, 8 is XT60 to DC8020, so that is the Bluetti port. And then it also has a 7909, so that is 2 ports on one cable, and then that is the female version. And then it has number 9, which is the male version of that. So they thought of everything. They thought of input and output for each cable. So very cool. I can't get over how that looks like a salad bar. There's so much stuff, minus this one, of course, and this one. But that, guys, look at that. That is a salad bar, an array of cool stuff. Now, I don't know if you guys are into solar like I am, but man, I ramble about this stuff 24 hours a day. Okay, so what do we got? Number 10 is an XT60 female to a 30 amp Anderson power pole adapter. So it did look a little bit beefier than mine. This is actually 30 amps, and the ones I have are 15. And the neat thing with these is if you pull this back, you can actually take these apart. There you go. So you can actually take them apart, and you can switch them. And the reason that does that is some power stations are this way, and some are vertical. So this gives you an opportunity to change your ports. Now, let me see if I can get that back on there, guys. Yep, see, that's always the hard part, is putting it back. You can take stuff apart, but you can't put it back. All right, let me see. Yeah. Did I miss it? I got it. Hold on, give me a second, guys. You know, brand new cables are awfully stiff. There we go. I think I got it. Okay. Nope, I did not get it. Give me a second here, guys. I'm fighting the cables now. Boy, that is stiff. But it's not made to do that more than what you need. You know, you're not going to do that all the time. Okay, I got it back together. There you go. And then it stays together like that. So if you want to put, you know, instead of side by side, you could have them on top of each other, because some power stations actually have that, where these are in different configurations. And you can see the slots all over, so you can change them. And then this is the little rubber, little watershed piece that goes over it here. It is fighting me. There it goes. Okay, so there you go. And then remember, this is not waterproof. It's watershed. But neat cable, very neat cable. I don't use Anderson power pole, but I do like the cable. Then you have the number 11 is the XT60 female to an M8 lug terminal. So this is an 8mm ring terminal here. And that one you could put on, you know, small, you know, on your battery you have those auxiliary port things and little pins. Well, they're actually terminals. And then you twist that little the wing nut down, and then you could pull energy from your car battery that way, and power dump that way. Okay, so let's see, what do we got here? Number 12 is XT60 female to an XT60-90H female adapter. And then you also have, now the 90H, I believe that has that pin inside. It's got that weird pin, doesn't it? Nope. Okay, I thought it had a weird pin in there. XT90s, like I said, I only have one of these. And I know some of them have a pin in the middle, which is like a communication-y thing or something. I don't know. I think that's for a power station, but I did see that before. And then the next one is this exact same adapter, but XT60 female to XT90 male adapter. So you have the male version here and the female version over there. But nice cables. And guys, they're thick. Look at, I mean, see how it kind of holds its shape? So it's thick. There's some good insulation on there, and hopefully there's some very good strong copper in there too. Where do we leave off here? Number 14, boy, there's a ton of them. 14 is XT60 female to a cigarette lighter plug adapter, and 15 is a XT60 female to cigarette lighter socket adapter cable. So this is the socket adapter, and this is the actual socket. No, I'm sorry, this is the socket, and this is the socket adapter. So that way you have an in and an outie for whatever you're going to do there. That's cool. Man, this is cool. Very cool kit. Okay, so here you got number 16 is an XT60 to alligator clip. Now we saw these, the alligator clamps here, the clips, whatever you want to call them there. And those are just little biters there. You put that on a battery or terminals, ring terminals, and you can transfer power that way. Always make sure that those are tight though, because you know they move quick, and then if you get arcs, you know, you could start a fire with those. Number 17 is XT60 female to XT60 male extension cable. So very cool. I don't remember where that one was. Well, let's look at the number. That was 16. So that's not it. Here it goes. So here's the, see? I'm going to keep these on here, guys. And you know what? This is not paper. It's actually laminated. It feels almost plasticky. So, and you can see here. You can see that it stays on there okay. It's not going to rip off. But I would highly recommend leaving this on here. And then what you could do is take packing tape and laminate this, and that way you have a little guide that's kind of watery proof that you could take with you. Or if you want to do it like really professional, check this out, guys. Go to Office Depot or Office Max, and you can have hold on, let me show you. I got ideas coming out of my nose here. Let me figure out where my give me 1 second. I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna go get one from the other side of the building. Hey guys, I'm back. That was only 1 second for you, but like 10 minutes for me, it seemed. Okay, so basically you could do this. Okay, this is a laminated sheet. It's 10 millimeter, and I get it from Office Depot and Office Max, same place. What you could do is you could actually have this stuck inside here, laminate it, and then cut it down to what you need. And then check this out. See how hard that is? So basically, if you spill beer on there, you spill soda on there, you get it dirty out in the rain, won't hurt nothing. See, we did that to all of our little YouTube channels here. So we have all these little YouTube channels, and that way we can have people scan these codes and then go right to it and check us out. So that's why we did that. So you can do that with this, and I think that would be a really fantastic idea, because then you would have a solid menu, if you will. Or here's another one. You could take a picture with your cell phone and have it on your cell phone. So either way, right? Having this in there laminated, I think would be a really good idea. This feels papery, so I think if it gets wet, I think it would be gone. But I'm gonna have it done like this, and that way I can have you know, obviously it would be like that and then cut down, so it'd be just a little bit, almost like a menu. You know, you go to the bar or you go to the restaurant and they have those menus like that, guys. There's a reason that they're laminated for obvious reasons. All right, so where do we live off here? The alligator clip? No, the extension cable. So number 17 is wait a minute here. So XT60. Okay, so 17 was the extension cable, and 18 is, what do we got here? Wait a minute. The alligator cable. Did they have the wrong number, guys? Well, Pecron, you might have to check something here. All right, let me check something here. 16 is the alligator clips. Okay. Now notice that this one says 16, and that is not alligator clips. That's number 17. So, boy, that's confusing. Okay, so Pecron, you got to change this one. Okay. And then where's the alligator clips, guys? This one. So notice that 17, okay, so 16 and 17 have the wrong numbers on them. Oh boy, just when I thought this chart can do no wrong, there you go, there's a wrong. So in here, it's alligator clip is number 16, and the extension of the XT60 is number 16. So those are swapped, guys. So what we're going to have to do is put a little arrow in there. Give me 1 second here. We're going to have to write, let's see here, I'll do that, and then like this, and then like this. So now I will remember that those two wires are switched. I just put little arrow there pointing from one to another. And you know, that's what these reviews are for, is to make sure everything is in order here. All right, where do we leave off? Number 18 now. 18 is the Z30 hub times 3. Now this is the Z30 hub times 3, so this is the hub. I don't think there's any electronics in there. I think it's just a straight hub that goes run through. But this one is the fancy one. That's the monitor hub, and I cannot wait to try this one, guys. Let me clean that a little bit. Fingerprint magnet for sure on that screen. See, I shouldn't have took that plastic off, but this is cool. If this works like I think it's going to work, I will definitely see if I can order at least, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 more of these just by themselves. So that's my most exciting part of this whole thing. And you know what, though? I gotta take that back. This one too, so I could go straight from that power dumping cable right into my 5-pin aviation for, or the GX, was the GX15 they call it, of the E2000 LFP, because once the E3600 LFP gets full, or if it's we know it's going to get full, we power dump from that cable into the E2000, and then we have 8,000 watt hours of backup power. So that's why we love these cables. And this like this is a smorgasbord full of stuff. Holy crapzilla. Okay, so now you have number 20 is the pouch. So they actually named the pouch and the user instruction, which I think this is the user instruction. Very basic, very straightforward. So here's how you would use it. Say you want it to come out. This looks like the F3000. Sure looks like it because it's got that 30 amp, the 30 amp. And then you would basically go out into the hub and then into the charging, which this looks like the E1500. But I'm pretty good at telling them apart. So that looks like the E1500 because it has that port right there. Let me see here. Yep, I think that's it. Yeah, it's got the I think it's a 15 or 30 here. Let me see here, guys. That is a, yeah, it's a 30 amp. So that would actually go it would go into the input, obviously. And notice that this is not an XT60. So if this is the E1500, which it looks like, because there's only, yeah, there's 3 outlets. That's E1500. So this configuration actually would not work. I think you're just showing a hypothetical, but this would go right into the E1000 because the E1000 has an input of the. Hold on, let me show it to you guys. All right. Okay, so the E1000, it's a little heavy, not too bad. All right, so this is the E1000, and notice that right here, so you have that DC input, so you would kind of power dump or charge from one into here, and then you can change your 8 amps or 20 amps depending on the voltage you're running. So that's where that would work. So I think that on that picture they should have had the E1000 on there. So they do make this stuff probably pretty quick, and it's probably up to us to find these mistakes, and that way they can correct them. But that, I believe, is everything with it here. All right, let's see here. Let me read this real quick. It says functionality limitation. Okay, so the Z30 hub and the Z30 monitor hub function solely as adapters. Okay, so there you go. This is nothing but an adapter and a monitor on there. So there's no protection in there. There's no guarantees of like short circuit protection. That all has to be done through the power station. So be careful what you hook them up to. Like if you're going to go to another battery or power station, make sure that you know what you're doing there. Otherwise you might have a bad day there. It says, let's see here, with no protective features. Ensure the output voltage current matches the input. So basically what that is is this is a straight extension cord for electricity. Similar to AC, you're taking a cable to a cable. There's nothing in there to verify and make sure that you're running the right voltage or the right amps. You have to know how to do that. And this one only tracks. It doesn't it doesn't cut it off. I think maybe there is a protection in that one. Was there or no? Nope, no protection. Z30 as well, the monitor hub. So this just listens to the information coming back and forth as far as the energy and amps and everything and the voltage. It does not protect the system, so it's just an ear basically, and with a visual so you can see what you're doing. It says the Z30 monitor hub generates heat during operation. That I guarantee. Remember, I always said if you have a connected part, that's the part where the electricity has to kind of jump over like that. It goes like that and it keeps going, right? So energy moves real smooth and it goes like this and there's a little hiccup and then it goes again. And that's every time you adapt something. So the more times, as in like this, the more times you adapt stuff, the more hiccups you're going to have and the possibility of more problems. So that way, if you get any adaptation that you need, try to go from exactly what you need to what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try, do like I did, because that's all I had, is, go Anderson power pole to XT60 to MC4 back to SCA, because that's all the cables you had. That could, run into some troubles down the road because you got those 4 hiccups in there, 4 connections in there. Let's see here. It says, okay, I read that already. Durability rated for 500 insertion cycles. Excessive use because, okay, so basically what they're saying is if you pull this in and out, sometimes these will spread apart or get loose. That's the very same thing with any connector. If you put them together over time, eventually that connector wears out. It's a joint like anything else. So you got to kind of be aware of that. But it says 500, after 500. It's rated for 500. So if you use this 500 times, I would be surprised. If you used any of these 500 times, I would be surprised. Possible, yes. Plausible, no. I don't think so. Not 500 times. All right, so there you go. So here's your car battery. And then you could monitor with that hubby thing. And then the Z30 monitor hub. And then that goes directly into a power station. So you can actually charge from lithium iron phosphate or even a standard battery, right? A deep cell probably, because you're just pulling energy out, and then this will convert it in the MPT controller. So this will act like a solar panel. Wow, I tell you what, guys, that is it. If you could see this whole, now remember, minus these two, because you don't get these. This is the smorgasbord full of stuff here. Let me see. Let me move some stuff here. Guys, I was shocked at how much stuff comes in this little box. I was expecting maybe, a handful of cables, but I can't think of a situation that, at least on the top of my head, where I would actually need, now remember, these don't come with it. I can't think of a situation of any power station I have for Pecron that I would need more than what is displayed here. I really can't. I really can't. These, like I said, if this works good, I'm going to definitely get more of those. I like that. I really like that. To be able to monitor your systems without using these, very cool, very cool. Let's just hope it works like it shows here. That's for another day here, because sun today is terrible. Hopefully your sun is getting better. Ours is just yuck today. All right, guys. Well, that's it. This is the, what the heck was it called? The U20, I think it was called. I had a picture somewhere. Guys, it's called what it's called. I can't remember the name of it. U20. I forgot already. Going through all these numbers and everything. Oh my gosh, here it is right here. Yeah, the U20. Okay, so my brain works, my memory doesn't, if that makes sense. It stores it, but it can't pull it back. So the Universal Cable Kit U20 by Pecron comes in a big old case like this. Hard box, you get just crazy amount of cables. And then you could throw a cable like this in there, and boy, you'd have every occasion under the sun. All right, that's it, guys. I can't wait to upload this video to hear what you think. And check this out. I mean, do you like it? Do you think it's a good idea? I think it's fantastic for camping. I mean, hands down, you got everything you need in one spot. Done. And it keeps it very organized too. They didn't just throw it in a in a flipping box there. You actually have a little net bag for each one. So very, very cool. All right, guys, ramble on, be safe, and I'll see you next time here at Rambling Bob Reviews. Link is in the description if you want to check it out. Bye.